Good evening, dear friends. Here we are in South Boulevard, Belgrade, Vračar municipality. Between Vračar and Voždovac municipality. What we are looking at, you see the lights. I'm not sure if you can see them, but the big lights over there. Now you can see them right from this billboard, the pink one. Are the lights, the reflectors of the football stadium part of the football club Partizan, the so-called stadium of Jugoslovenske Narodne Armije, Yugoslav National Army, JNA. Now, of course, the name has been changed in the meanwhile, but this was the original name when the stadium was built. Of course, since this stadium and the other one of the football club Red Star, Crvena Zvezda, Stella Rossa, are close to each other and quite centrally located actually. I mean, not really within the first inner circle, but practically just outside the inner circle in Belgrade. There is a plan to demolish them and build one practically large stadium, modern one, because these two were built according to the standards that existed back in the 50s of the past century, with the athletic track around the football court, so that the base of the stadium is quite large, and which is, on one hand, it's good because this stadium can be also used for athletic sports events. However, the bad side is that the spectators are sitting relatively far away from the main event, which is a football game. For me, that was used to be watching football games in the stadiums like this, it was quite a surprise when I first went to Santiago Bernabeu in Madrid, and when I saw the design of that stadium, for instance, it was pretty much of a shock to me. Now we are passing the Gazela bridge, and on our right hand side we can see the BW Galeria, the largest shopping mall in Belgrade, which is about to be opened in 3 days time from now. Actually on the 1st of October there should be an opening ceremony of this shopping mall. It's located within the Belgrade waterfront complex, consisting of dozens of buildings. So far there are 4 complete buildings, and the rest, most of the rest are under construction, and some of them are still to start, the construction of which. Now we have passed the Gazela bridge. On our right hand side is the Congress Center Osawa. Used to be the largest Congress Center in the Balkans, or in the Balkans. I'm not really sure whether this is still the case, but the Congress Center is now a bit obsolete, so it's practically screams for the renovation, for actually major overhaul, and so it's up for sale. The city of Belgrade has announced. I'm not really sure about the exact ownership structure, but the city of Belgrade is the majority owner as far as I understand. So it's offered for sale, and just a few days ago there was one unsuccessful attempt of sale of this building. It's practically next to the ex-Hotel Intercontinental, nowadays Crown Plaza. And there is even a hot link between the two buildings. So back in the days, it was was built practically simultaneously. I mean, the hotel and the Congress Center. So practically the one that decides to go for it will also get the easy access to the Crown Plaza Hotel. So the most logical owner of, the most logical new owner of the complex will be Delta Real Estate, a member of Delta Group, Delta Holding. They were also one of the potential interested buyers. However, due to various circumstances, they did not bid for it this time, because as far as I managed to understand, they realized that the ask price is a bit too high, together with the required level of investments into it. But we'll see. Now we are practically driving through the very heart of the new heart of the business Belgrade. Business part of the Belgrade, the so-called Grave building, and left from it is the Blue Center building. Okay, this was not always called the Grave building, but given the fact that now the Grave sign is all over, not all four corners, if I recall correctly. Most of the time this building is considered as, okay, there is on the fourth corner there is a sign of the Victoria Group still, because some years ago this was known as the Victoria building, but Victoria Oil building or Victoria Group building. And now also quite a large part is occupied by Ike Bank, domestic but strong. This is the commercial. And now we are passing next on our right hand side is the Civ building, the federal, used to be the Federal Executive Council, let's Savezno izvršno veće, let's translate it that way. It's one of the most spectacular, actually, administrative buildings in Belgrade, I have to say. I had the pleasure to go there in a couple of occasions on some business reasons, and despite the fact that it has been built quite a long time ago, it still preserves quite some level of how would I call it, the feeling that you go into a building and you feel this not really sure about the right term, but it looks good. You see, it's a bit oldish, but still looks very good and somehow elegant, even, I would say. Okay, now we are approaching the most famous roundabout in New Belgrade. It's called the Roundabout at the Municipality, the building of the New Belgrade Municipality. But we are not going to go there, instead we'll be going right. And there is also one nice complex of business buildings here on our left, starting with Wiener Städtische, again another insurance group, and then the Chinese Cultural Center, this building that is not illuminated at the moment because as far as I know it has not been complete yet, but looks impressive. This is actually the site of the ex-Chinese embassy that has been damaged during the NATO bombardment in 1999. Allegedly it was accidentally bombarded. There were also some officials, Chinese officials killed in it, some of them wounded. So it was, I believe, one of the initial points of the current, how to say, misunderstanding or not really best relationship between the Chinese. I mean, it was one of the starting points of the events that we are now witnessing today. I mean, the chain of events, let's say. And now we are approaching the building of the ex-Hotel Yugoslavia. As far as I know, is also up for sale. It is an impressive building, but also destroyed in the NATO campaign in 1999, I mean in the bombardment, and has not been reactivated ever since. Okay, we are now approaching one of the famous parkings close to the nightclubs, floating restaurants and nightclubs. Bye for now. Talk to you soon again.